everybody, welcome to Better Beauty. My name is Kat. Today I'm going to do this holiday glam look for you. Sparkly eye, sparkly lip, because if you're going out for New Year's Eve, wear all the sparkle. Do it all, why not? So if you want to see how to get this look, then keep on watching. Alright, so to start, I'm going to go in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Black Bean. If I can get it open. I've just moisturized. That was a mistake. I'm kind of using it in place of that one a little bit wonky, of primer. Then I'm going to take a domed shadow brush by Real Techniques and just kind of buff it out. Obviously this is for very smoky eye. So now I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek in Creme Brulee. And just blend out that black a little bit. A lot. It always looks worse before it looks better. So now we're going to just go straight into the glitter, which is the fun part. And I'm going to take the Shadow Insurance Glitter Glue by Too Faced. Did I just say glitter glue? I thought I said glitter goo. That's wrong. I use my fingers for this because that way you don't gunk up a brush. So just a little bit. And just pat it where you want the glitter to go. That's a lot. You don't need it to be too thick because it is really good at adhering glitters and pigments to your eyes or wherever you want them. And then make sure you wipe your finger off before you go into the glitter because then you're just going to end up with glitter glued to your finger. It does come off, it's not super crazy glue. Then I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Pigment, and this is in Utopia. It is a beautiful black gold pigment. The containers are like, look at how full that is. So it's going to make a mess and a disaster everywhere if you're not super careful. I just go in with my finger again, and it's so glittery, it just picks up on your finger, and just tap that on your eyelid. I like using my finger because I find it kind of minimizes the fallout, even though as you can see, I'm still getting it all over the place, but we'll fix that. I like using a black base for this just because it has that bit of blackened gold, so I find it makes a nicer base color than just the pigment alone. So that's kind of what it looks like. Beautiful. I mean, it looks mostly like a mess right now, but we're gonna fix that. And since I'm already a mess, let's just make it even more of a mess. All up in eyelashes. I should have just taken the entire jar and thrown it at my face. So now we're going to put the lid on that before disaster strikes and it spills everywhere. And I'm going to clean this up, and when I come back it'll be perfect. Alright, so my suggestion would be to not do your foundation before you do that pigment because it's just going to make a hot mess all over your face. But we've taken care of that. So now, I don't know if you can even see how glittery that is, but it's super glittery, very good for holiday, New Year's Eve. So now we're just going to smoke up the outside. 223 brush from Zoeva and Corrupt eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, which is, I've seen tutorials, or I should say comparison videos on black eyeshadows, and Corrupt comes out on top on any black shadow. It's the blackest of the black. So we're just going to take that on the outside corner and just kind of wing it up a little bit and push it into the crease. When you're doing a smoky eye like this, I like taking that softer brown or like a more nude or skin tone color around the outside just to make that transition less harsh. And then we're going to go back in with the 231 brush from Zoeva and just buff that edge out. No additional product. It's the one that I used to buff the top of the eye out. So normally I would do gel liner at this stage if I was doing a regular eyeshadow look, but because the pigment is so glittery, really the gel liner is just going to clump up with the glitter and give you a messy looking liner. So I'm not going to do any liner on top of the lashes. I'm going to try my new Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper, and I'm just going to add a bit of a wing to the outside. Shake this up first, from what I'm told. And it has this super fine tip to it. So I'm just going to drag that from the outer corner, just creating a bit of a wing, just to elongate that eye a little bit. And with this liner you can get a super sharp point. As a guide to doing a wing like this, use your lower lash line and almost like you're drawing up from your lower lash line and extending it with your liner. And that's a good way of getting a really even wing on each side, because I think that's what people have the hardest part with and find the most intimidating. And a big furry dog walking behind me. That's Ellie. So I'm just going to make sure that the smokiness of the black matches up with the wing. And we're going to go back in with that little tiny 223 and some Corrupt, just like you need the smallest amount, and run that just under the lashes, just on the outer corner, just to add definition. We're going to do more to the lower lash, of course, but this is step one. Of course, if you didn't want it to be super dramatic, like this isn't already dramatic, you don't have to do anything to the lower lash line. You can put mascara on it and call it a day. But that's not how I do things. So we're going to take this random brush that came in a Sephora brush kit that I got, and honestly I don't have that many of these brushes left, but I really like this one for some reason. I've hung on to it for a really long time. I'm going to go in with, I don't even know what color this is, Latte by Makeup Geek. This is pretty much a Makeup Geek look. So we're just going to take that right on the tip of that brush and add that to the lower lash line. I like my eyes to be really, really smoky, but if you don't like that, you don't have to do it. Creme Brulee, and finally, just on the same brush, a little bit of vanilla bean just to blend out that edge. And back into the 231 in vanilla bean, and I'm just going to make sure that the edge of that black is nice and blended. So now we're going to do mascara and lashes, and we might revisit the lower lash after that. Once I have lashes on, I might feel like it needs more. So we're going to go in with this pencil from Guerlain, and it's Call Me Ivory, and it's an ivory colored pencil. MAC does one of their chromographic pencils. I think it's like NC15 NW20 or something like that, and it's basically skin color. So depending on what your skin color is, of course. I like doing this because I find it really opens up your eyes, and I have a tendency to get really red eyes, especially if allergies are happening or if I've poked myself in the eye with something, as I do. It really just gets rid of that. So I'm gonna curl my lashes, put on some mascara, and wrestle with some false lashes. We'll see how that works out. So I'm not gonna curl them crazy. It doesn't matter anyways because my eyelashes do not hold curl. They're the straightest lashes on the face of the planet. So now I'm going to go in with mascara, and this is Dior Show in Waterproof, and the color is 090. It's just black. And it's my favorite mascara. And this one is dry, and I need to get another one, but I keep forgetting. Another thing I would suggest if you have really wide eyes, or if your eyelashes do not go pointed straight down like mine do, would be to line the underside of your waterline, with a black pencil or a gel liner, because if you can see that underside of your eyelid, it kind of takes away from the smoky effect. I don't really have to do that because my eyelashes point to the ground, not up to the sky where I would like them to. So actually, before I go in with lashes, I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting on my eyes. I'm going to keep using Makeup Geek stuff. So I'm going to use Bling. I just remember the name. A little bit of Bling and a little bit of Ice Queen. Let me just double check on the name of this one. Yeah, Ice Queen on a 222 brush from Zoeva. And I'm going to push that right under my brow for a nice shimmery highlight. And as you probably may have noticed when we started this, I have my foundation and my brows already done. And in the inner corner, I'm going to use a Sigma pencil brush, the E30, and just bling right on the upper portion of the tear duct. Pretty much where that glue, the glitter glue where we didn't put any glitter glue, and there's obviously no glitter there. And on the bottom, Ice Queen, just to really brighten up that inner corner. Because this is a holiday look, and if you can't make your face shine at Christmas time, when can you? Am I right?
Amen.
I'm like dragging unwilling participants into my video. Okay. Now we're gonna do lashes. While I was off camera, I had a little fit because there was an eyelash mishap, but I finally got them on. And all I did was take my tattoo liner by Kat Von D, and I drew a little line right on the inner corner just to kind of extend the band of the lash because it just looked like the lash stopped. And I winged out a little bit more because these lashes, they're Ardell Demi Wispies in black, and they're really full and flared out at the ends, so I kind of wanted to just extend that. But now I'm going to take, this is a MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette in light, And I'm going to take the color NC15, which is the color of my foundation, and on a Sigma concealer brush, the F70, I'm just going to clean up underneath the wing of the liner. Just to sharpen it up, and with the lighter color underneath it, it's really going to make the black of the wing stand out. And then we're going to go back in with excuse me, some more shadow underneath, because there's a lot going on the top, and I feel like there needs to be more going on the bottom. So we're going to go back in, we're going to go in with a little bit of mocha mixed with a tiny bit of corrupt, just on the outer corner. I like it when I get the approving from stage right. I think that's appropriately smoky for that color. And then back in with this random Sephora brush and a little bit of creme brulee, just to kind of connect the highlight shade, the Ice Queen color that we did in the inner corner, with the bottom lash line. Because you should never have any empty real estate around your eyes, really, when you're doing a look like this. No. Paint it all. I'm going to take Harmony by MAC with the Zoeva 109 brush, which is, like you can see, it's like a flat brush that is perfect for contour, in my opinion. And we're gonna give ourselves some cheekbones. Start at the top of your ear, and don't, I'm gonna say a natural look, and we're gonna do the air bunnies, but don't bring it past the outer corner of your eye, because you run the risk of looking a little bit too gaunt when you're contouring. If that's the look that you're going for, you do you. I'll do me. And also, don't ever bring it down. You don't want to contour your jawbone. If you bring a darker color down here, it's going to kind of make you look like you've got 5 o'clock shadow, which, again, unless that's the look you're going for, it's not the look I'm going for right now. So you're just kind of pushing the brush in, dragging it down a little bit, and feathering it up. If you want to, take that around your face. Why not? Minimize that chin area, because I like cake. And depending on how far you want to take the contour, I usually do a little bit right under my nose, and a little bit right in this area. Adding a shadow there once the lips are on, because we're going to do a highlight on the top. It just makes your lips look a little bit more pouty. So next I'm going to do blush. And I think I'm going to go in with another Makeup Geek product. If I can get it off of the Z palette. Head Over Heels. These blushes are super pigmented, so if you're gonna use them, just tread lightly. I'm gonna take a little bit of Smitten on top of that, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. And did I say? I didn't say this is a Real Techniques contour brush. So once that's done, usually I'll take my foundation brush, which is a 104 from Zoeva. This is the most phenomenal brush ever for foundation. And I just kind of run it over the whole area, just to make sure everything is blended, and if I went a little bit too heavy-handed, it kind of tones it down a little bit. And then you can kind of go back and forth with the two brushes and adjust as needed. So I'm going in with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, which is what I always use for my under eyes. I think it's phenomenal. Some people I've heard that it creases on them. I don't have that problem. It is very dry though, which I like for under my eyes. Also, I do this a little bit backwards. Some people do their concealer and then do their bottom lash line. I go back in and touch it up after. I don't know why. It's like I'm adding a step for myself. So I drag that all the way down. I really want the center of my face to be highlighted, especially when you're doing a super smoky, dramatic look like this. You want your skin to be pretty flawless, and especially using black around your eyes, you really don't want any dark circles to be visible, because it's just going to be super highlighted by the fact that you've got black on your eyes. So I kind of buff that out and then take my foundation brush again and really blend the edge of that. So it's obviously still there, but at least it's a smooth transition. I feel like you're watching me very intently. Was that an approving? So that's it for the under eye area. I do always set it with Ben Nye powder in Rose Petal. And I don't like making a huge mess with the powder either. I use a pointed foundation brush from Real Techniques. I just kind of dip it in, tap off the excess, and really just press it under my eye. And for me doing this, that concealer is not going anywhere. It lasts all day long. And I take that down the center of my face too. Always pressing, because you don't want to disturb the foundation or the concealer that you've put underneath. Depending on what foundation you're using, or if maybe you have really dry skin, you don't even need to do this, but I definitely do. And also just blending the tiny bit of a contour that we did under our nose, making sure that there's no harsh line under there. So I'm going to go in with the Becca Pressed Shimmering Skin Perfector, and this is in the color Moonstone. And I'm going to take that on a 105 Zoeva brush and put that on the top of our cheekbones. Cupid's bow, and just the tip of our nose. So I'm going to take the Dior lip liner pencil in Holiday Red. And Too Faced Melted Ruby Lipstick. Liquid lipstick. And this stuff stays where you tell it to. I don't have any of the other colors, but I would like to get them. And just to take that down a little bit, I'm going to go in with a little bit of OCC Lip Tar in Black Metal Dahlia. And it comes in a little tube like this. It's a little bit messy. You need the tiniest amount. So I'm just going to squeeze literally the tiniest amount on the end of a brush that I use for lips. It's the Detailer brush by Real Techniques. So that is the finished look. If you are going to use the OCC lip tar, be very careful with it. It's extremely liquidy. It'll go all over the place if you're not careful, and start out small and build from there. You can add, but it's hard to take it away. So this is the finished look. I think it's kind of sexy, vampy, dramatic. Maybe not good for like a family Christmas party, but New Year's Eve, definitely, I think. So I hope that you all enjoyed watching it, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Look at that mess. We're gonna clean that up. We're gonna have to edit this part out. Look at that.
It's a little high for so dark.
I'm talking about this.
Oh.
Did you think that was on purpose?
No.
Oh.
I was just waiting for you to put some on the other end dry.
No. That's not what I meant to do.
This is where the redness will begin. You'll edit and all of a sudden she'll have a bloodshot eye.
Yeah, really, because I just poked myself in the eye with a makeup wipe. What I've done. This is a disaster. This is not going as planned.
I was worried for a second that you grabbed the dome brush to fix your nose.
Imagine.
It's going black.
Just make sure when you're contouring that you kind of start at the top of your nose and don't...
Your ear.
Of your ear, yes. Don't start at the top of your nose. That's a different kind of contour.